sea, and I put a time bomb in your submarine. Goodbye to old friends, those secrets in hand. We phoned in the papers and counterfeit plans. You never will understand.
Hi guys, to everyone. I'm Ada from PoisonedRock, and today we have the honor to have with us Keyana. It's really a pleasure because we are we are inaugurating this sort of new type of interviewing, because this time it will be like more a storyteller, like to dig in about her talent and talent not only as musician but as also woman in the music field. That's why I want to start with the first question. Of course, how are you, Keyana?
Hey, I'm doing great, thanks. Calling from Helsinki, Finland, and it's already dark over here, which is good for the creativity, actually. And it's real fun to be here. Thanks.
That's amazing. So let's start easily saying, who is Keyana?
Well, yeah, I'm Keyana Kobra, and I'm the lead guitarist and composer of my self-titled band, Keyana Kobra. And for the past few years, I've been working on some albums and some guesting with other friends and other bands. And yeah, it's a real honor to be part of the music world and be developing all the time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we will get then into your albums and your music part in your project, because of course I want to know more about that. But now I want to know how you get close to the music. How was your first love? How you get in love with music?
Well, I really owe that to my grandparents. My grandmother plays piano and my grandfather plays guitar. So I was around that from a really early age, and I was very interested in that. So they sort of showed me the ropes. I was first a pianist and learning sort of classical stuff. And later on, throughout school, I was joining jazz bands and rock bands and just all kinds of genres, playing keyboards. And eventually one thing led to another, and
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And why you pick the guitar as an instrument? Because we have a lot of amazing guitarists in the metal scene and the music and rock scene, of course, but you have a really particular style. That's what I like. So that's why I want to ask you why you pick the guitar.
Well, I was always kind of eyeing it. My grandfather had a guitar lying around, and even though I was playing piano, my heart was always set on, like, I want to play that. And I asked my parents for Christmas one year, can I please have a guitar? And surprise, they got me one, and it was this beautiful Ibanez guitar, which just like fit perfectly to my soul. It felt like, and I went to go see Motley Crue, and I saw Mick Mars.
I love them.
They're great. I saw Mick Mars up on stage, and he just was such a character, and he was very like in your face kind of playing. And I went home and I said, all right, that's what I'm going to do. Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm going to drop out of school, FYI. And they said, like, yeah, right. And a few weeks later, I dropped out of school to pursue music. So that was quite an interesting, thing to be dropping out at 16 for the guitar.
Yeah, but at least you're going through an amazing project with your own band, with your own with other musicians. So I think that you did the best choice. So
yeah, it's very hard to sort of in the real world or in the business world to find work, when you dropped out. But I kind of took a chance and I applied to my dream music school, which is Berklee College of Music, and I got in.
And each one.
So I'm in the middle of doing that right now as well, which is it's come true.
But in your dream, you ever wanted to be a musician, or did you had other dreams before finding out the love of music?
You know, I was always kind of wanting to be a doctor, and before I got into Berkeley, I started actually going to college for this degree for science to sort of
Yeah.
pursue that. But then, you know, then I just thought this isn't for me, and I'd much rather be playing guitar.
But it's a great, you're smart and beautiful. That's amazing. So you are basically the, so that's why we women will, you will conquer the world one day with the music. Speaking about women, you know how much it's really tough sometimes being in a music field as a woman. So I want to know your point of view in this side, because a lot of women are struggling. I mean, right now, to be honest, we have a lot of female bands, really great. But as you point of view, as Keyana, how do you live being in the music field?
You know, it's something I really haven't thought about too much. I guess I was always sort of used to being the only girl, you know, in the bands I was in, or
Yeah.
you know, the jams, or you know, hanging around my friends, you know. So I didn't think about it too much, but when I was younger, an early teenager, I started kind of getting these certain comments, mostly online, you know. But you know, I think it's just important to sort of put out just good intentions and very clear ideas of what you want to do in the
Yeah,
scene, you know, and
that's
if you
for a
have
fact.
that, I think 99% of the time you're going to get that good energy back. Of course, there's always that 1%, you know, but it's just important to just
Yeah,
kind of grow like the thick skin and just like brush it off, you know.
yeah,
There's tons of new female guitarists or female musicians that are coming to the scene, and they have great music, you know, and really
yeah,
can really hold their ground, which is great. And we definitely need more of that. And
yeah.
looking
That's true. That's for a fact. Yeah, that's a
absolutely.
mess, because we were stuck in the 80s with a female musician, and now it's coming back, and it's good seeing all these female musicians that are keep touring with the huge band, and they are coming a little huge as them as the other bands. So, but I want also to know who was your biggest influences first as musician, or in general, and then as guitarist.
As a musician, I would say Alice Cooper was a big one
Alice
for
Cooper.
me because you know I never really heard music like that that was so theatrical, you know, and
Yeah,
he's a character, you know, which actually inspires me to do what I'm doing now. And he just has like a really dangerous sense to him. Also, Bob Dylan, because he is such a
I
great
agree.
poet, you know. I mean, you
I agree.
can't go wrong with those two, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And in general, your music influences. What, so what Kiana listen
Well, Green Day is definitely a big
to?
one for me.
Yeah, it's great.
I heard them like when I was 14 or something, and I didn't really hear music that had kind of an attitude like that
Yeah,
before. And I really liked that, and that kind of led to more horror punk, like the Misfits, you know.
yeah,
And you know, I like all styles of music, really. You know, I like classical, Bach and Beethoven,
yeah,
and like the Eagles are great.
yeah. And I think that's why also, because like you say, you grew up in a family with music, and you went to especially Berkeley College. So I think that really formed you. And now it's a little bit about tough the question, because it's just picking 5 albums that really influenced you as
Um,
person or musician. It's up to you. If the question is free.
Well, I mean, I can kind of narrow it down to the age of like 14 or 15. I was listening to these, but one would be Warning by Green Day. I think it was
Okay.
from the 90s or so. And Killer by Alice Cooper is one of the first vinyls that I had.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah.
And it came like on this, like when you open up the vinyl, he was like being hung, and then it had a calendar from like 1970 something. It was really visually cool as well. And I like One of These Nights by the Eagles. And
Eagles, yeah.
let me see what else there was. Like I liked Wildflowers by Tom Petty. That was a
Yeah,
great.
Wildflowers. Oh, I've never heard this band ages. It's amazing.
And yeah, coming back to the Misfits, this American Psycho album, because it was so
Yeah,
like horror influenced, you know.
yeah,
It was really
yeah.
cool.
Now I just want to focus about your project. So Keyana Kobra band, we can say. What can you say about that? Did you release something already, or you're working on it?
Well, I'm working with absolutely fabulous musicians, who really get the idea of what I'm doing. And Sammy Ulicerno, he's playing bass for me and helping out with vocals as well. And he's just great. It's so much fun to work together. And the other two musicians I'm working with will be announced shortly and in the next coming months. But they're also very good at what they do. And it's like a really, really close-knit sort of atmosphere, which I like. And I've been working on this album for 3 to 4 years, which is quite a long time.
It would be an important release then.
And there's a few reasons for that, and one of them is I'm going to Berkeley at the same time I'm getting my degree, and everything that I'm learning I'm putting towards the album, of course. And secondly, what I'm doing is I'm building a character. This Cobra image is a character. And so for me, that you can't just do that overnight. It takes time to evolve that and sort of kind of blend together different qualities. So putting on a very like wicked, dangerous, alluring artist, right? But then when you listen to the lyrics and when you go a little bit deeper, you realize it's very like raw and quite vulnerable, actually. So my job is to just blend all of those things together with the music as well. And so, of course, with the lyrics, but there are things you can do arrangement-wise, that can sort of convey that.
But this is really innovative. I really like the idea, like the Cobra stings, tough at the outside, soft at the inside. That's amazing.
And it's also for myself, I started quite young, so it's for me to evolve and really stand behind a vision long term for this time period. So, I'm not like an angry teenager looking at the world anymore. You have to develop those life experiences and really sort of go through the twists and turns, and then you can sort of get that inner soulful thing out. So I'm really excited for people to hear that. And
it's a mature project. Then it's a mature project. This is really important. Yeah, it's a mature project.
So we're finishing up the demo stage now, and it's also for me putting on a bunch of different hats. I started out just while playing lead guitar and doing some backing vocals, but now I've become like the producer of this demo stage. I'm doing drum programming. I'm the sole lyricist.
A woman who do all this stuff. Finally.
So it's a lot of work, which I'm ready to roll up the sleeves and I'm doing it, and it's always a journey. So next year.
It's amazing because I always heard bands so nice and I say, yeah, we are producing and producing that. But it's always admirable. But this is the first time I heard a woman say all this. So congratulations! It's really hard, So I really can't wait to listen to this album. Then even the first single will be released. Let me know, so we will post it. Because we usually made some premieres live for just even albums, singles when it will be on YouTube. So let me know, because it's great, because it's I really like your style and how you covered some song that I really like. For example, the Montreal Crew that I saw on YouTube. It's fucking great.
Well, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's it's all exciting, and I appreciate what you guys are doing as well. Keeping everything alive and supporting musicians.
Yeah. If we don't support each other, well, the music can die, basically. Even with all the organizer of festival. Did you have some gigs you're planning in the future? I mean, to play live?
Well, it's typically I'm kind of laying low underground, just kind of working on my album. But when people are asking, it's I love to play, playing with friends, in Valtteri or with this Veron Pisara band. And this Corvus Corax, we were supposed to have some festivals last summer, but they got canceled. But hopefully,
it will be next year. I think many festivals. So there is a chance. So because I wanted to speak about this collaboration with Corvus Corax, because they are a huge band. So it's amazing you playing there. How it started this collaboration?
Oh, they're just such great people and good friends, and they asked Sammy to be recording on their new album Era Metallum. And so they went to Berlin and recorded that. And when it came time for the video, Doro, their manager, and the guys, they asked me to join as well, which is really
That's
nice.
amazing.
We went to UFO Studios, which is used to be like an old brewery and kind of spiral staircases.
Wow.
Really cool studio. And we did the Ragnarok video, which is out last year. And we were just in Berlin again. They asked us to do the new video for Sverker, their new single, and we did at the UFO Studios again, and worked with this really awesome director, Andreas Marshall, and he does these really cool album covers for bands. For us. And yeah, it's really cool people, and it's always a really nice, welcoming atmosphere. And that's going to be out in the 29th of October, so you can check my page or their page, and I'm excited for it.
Of course we will do it. I won't forget that for sure. So before ending the interview, I just, that we were speaking before about all these women, but especially I want, if you want, of course, give give an advice to the young teenager, female. This time is for female, not for guys, for female. They're approaching to the music. And sometimes it can be tough for them, and even to start an instrument, because they can think it's full of men. I will never do that. So what will you feel to say to them?
I just think do whatever you want, and don't care at all what anybody thinks. Just as long as you're doing it with your heart and your soul, you're gonna see results, because that's what people see. They don't really see. You don't even have to be extreme shredder. You don't have to be, a super professional. Just as long as you're putting your heart out there, people will feel that.
I agree.
So that's the most important advice.
So thank you so much, Keyana. And when the album will be out, your album, we will do a review online, live streaming. We're speaking about the album. That will be a complete interview, because we will analyze each song. So keep ready, because I wanted to be updating with you, because I really like what you're doing, really. And I'm really happy to meet you finally.
Oh, so thank you. Happy to meet you
so
too.
much. And let's stay in touch. And thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. Bye, Keyana.
You too. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.